welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about 5 tropes that I strongly dislike. I would say hate, but I don't really hate anything about reading per se, just some things I prefer over others. So these are 5 tropes that I really dislike. So first we have the love triangle. Now this is a trope very common in YA, and I find it increasingly infuriating every time I see it in a book. Like, I will go into a YA series and as soon as I know it's going to be a love triangle, I literally have to roll my eyes because it is just so overdone. Like, the one that traditionally comes to mind is Bella, Edward and Jacob. So, and I mean, I didn't like that love triangle when I first read that, and I read that when I was about 15 years old, and I've never liked them since. Like, I'm trying to think of other examples. There's Clary and then there's Jason, Simon. That love triangle was all over the place and I didn't like it. It's very cliche, and like the whole meet a guy that's so handsome and nice, and then you've got the other guy who's been the best friend for years. So that's kind of another side to it. I don't like it when it's the best friend doesn't have the confidence to tell the girl that he likes her, or vice versa, the boy that he likes her and him, until he or she suddenly shows interest in somebody else. That just infuriates me. Like, no, if you wanted to tell that person you love them, you would have had ample opportunity, having been their best friend for however many years. You do not need another excuse to finally tell them. It just irks me so much. So next is very common in these types of videos, and that is insta love. I have never liked that. I've always preferred the kind of the slow burning romance, or the ones that start off in friendship, because you really get to see like how their relationship progresses. You know that they've got a steady foundation for their relationship. It's not, oh, I saw you across the room and I instantly knew you were the one for me. Like, just no, that's not the way it works. And I find it very unrealistic. Like, if I'm reading, especially if it's a contemporary book and I'm reading it because it is meant to be almost like a snippet of life type, so I know it's fiction, but it's meant to be like a snippet of life type story, I don't want to be sitting there reading a book about 2 people who knew they were right for each other after only having known each other for the whole of 10 minutes. It just it's not right, it's not logical, and it just doesn't happen in real life. And if it does happen in real life, it normally ends in disaster. So I just think it's very unrealistic. It's very cliche, like it's done all the time, especially in contemporary romances, which is part of the reason why I don't particularly enjoy romance books. I tend to lean towards the kind of the other side of contemporary. I mean, I do like a good romance, but I just can't get on with the insta love trope. It just drives me nuts. Next is one that I don't know if I like this or not. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. It's just that I've decided that it's so cliche, like it's so overdone, I'm getting bored with it. So it's not necessarily that I dislike it, it's just that I'm bored with it. And that is the whole, no, they're beautiful till somebody shows an interest type thing. Like, it irks me a little bit, because these women should not, these characters should not need other people to validate their beauty, whether it be their inner beauty or their outer beauty, whatever it may be. These women should not need somebody else to validate it for them. You should know that you're worth it, whether somebody shows an interest or not. Like, it shouldn't matter that, yes, okay, it's nice that they they express that they like your beauty or they like you for who you are, but it shouldn't validate what you feel. You should be able to validate yourself and your beauty and what you think with yourself. And I think it's just so overly done, where it's comparing them, especially with the like teenage characters. I tend to find, like teenage girls, it tends to be they compare themselves to every other girl in the book. They see all of their flaws. They can't take a moment to actually appreciate how good they look. There's kind of an added twist to that, is when they're nervous around the fact that the guy is attracted to them. Like, they'll find that person staring at them, or taking them in, looking them up and down, and they start getting all like flustered and kind of like hiding in a corner, saying they don't understand why he's looking at her that way. And I'm just like, well, we all know why. even the character knows why, so why can't they just accept that other person might actually like them? Like, I get that I get that there's self-confident issues and stuff like that, but I just think that this trope is just so overdone. I want to see confident, sexy, powerful characters who know they are just that. And I'm not saying that they can't have moments of insecurity, because obviously everybody is human, unless they're from fantasy books and they're not human. But I want to see women who are confident, because there are women like that. Like, take Beyonce for instance. That girl knows what she is. She knows she's powerful and that she's beautiful, and it would just be nice to see characters like that in books. The next is one that Thought on Tomes spoke about, and I just could not agree more. Like, it was just so, I never really thought about it until she said it, but then I realised, okay, yeah, that is definitely one of my hated tropes. And it is that when a character instantly masters a new skill, whether it be magic, whether it be sword fighting, whether it be whatever, it's the character just goes in and it's like instant, just because they're the chosen one, they suddenly can use their powers like that. It just, no. It's why I like the Shadowhunters book so much, because with Clary, she doesn't really master her Shadowhunter abilities. Like, she can use them when she's emotional enough, like when it's raw, but when it comes to the actual training side of it, she hasn't got that, or at least she didn't have that in the beginning. And I found that very true to what it's like to learn a new skill. It takes time, you make lots of mistakes, and any book where they can suddenly master their new skill, it just drives me crazy. Like, no, that's not realistic. Or when the author just decides to go skip 6 months ahead, and suddenly they've gone from not being able to master their skill to suddenly being able to master it. Like, if you're going to start a story and you're going to take the time to make them learn a new skill, you're going to start it with them not knowing how to use this skill, the least you could do is have, even if you do kind of jump ahead between times, but you should show the progress of the training. Like, it even irritates me in TV shows when they do that montage of them suddenly not knowing how to use their powers and then being very clumsy, and then they're a bit better and a bit better until they've mastered it. I'm like, but maybe you should show it throughout the progression of the film or the TV show or whatever it is. Maybe you should show them progressively, instead of just doing a quick montage like they do in books or films. They should actually show the character learning these skills. And it just really irritates me. Like, it's almost a lazy way to go, this character's now being introduced to this world, we're going to suddenly skip ahead 6 months just so you can understand why they didn't have their powers before, so we could introduce you to this world, but now they do, and we're going to go from there. I just find it extremely boring, and it's very cliche, and I don't like this trope. And finally, the last one is one that I feel is mentioned in a lot of these kind of videos, and that is the miscommunication trope. Nothing irritates me more, oh my god. Like, even in TV shows, I cannot count the amount of times the miscommunication trope has been used. Let's take Castle and Beckett, for example. They made that whole, we know they love each other but won't get together thing last 5 seasons, when they could have done it in 3, because the show started with them not liking each other. Like, they could have done it in 3. It was clear they both loved each other, but no, there kept having to be miscommunications, or suddenly someone would get a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend. It was just, oh, so frustrating. And I just hate this trope in any which way. Cassandra Clare books are a prime example of this. I know I'm mentioning Cassandra Clare's books a lot. It's because I'm reading the series at the minute and it's fresh in my head. So yeah, I just don't like it. It drives me nuts. Like, with Jace and Clary, if they'd actually bothered to speak for most of the second book, half of what happened wouldn't have happened. And obviously I can't go into spoilers, but there's one big miscommunication, a secret that Jace keeps to himself. And I'm just like, why? Go and tell Clary, just go and tell her and everything will be fine. Like, everything will sort itself out, and it just drove me crazy. But yes, so those are 5 tropes that I strongly dislike. let me know of any tropes you guys don't like or hate even. Yeah, and thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. All my links to my social media are down below if you wish to go check that out. I update what I'm reading on there quite regularly, and yeah, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.